technology. I can't believe this technology works. It's absolutely amazing. We're live here. Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton of MarkRushtonGallery.com. It is Thanksgiving night, November 24th, 2022. I can't believe this is happening. We have Tim Murphy, right?
That is correct, sir.
Tim Murphy from TB Murphy Design. We also have correct. Trisha Pena from Trisha Pena Art. And we're all meeting here for the first time. We just decided to get together and see what happens here. Now, hold on here just a second. Did I just switch? I did switch. I mirrored my camera, so overcoming all the technical hurdles here in the basement. So, anyway, so what are we going to do tonight? We're going to talk about our art, maybe show off a little art, perhaps. Talk about how we got to where we are here.
Sure.
With art storefronts. We're all art storefronts members. I can't say alumni because is that right? Is alumni the right word?
I don't think so because you'll always be a part of it.
I think so too. Yeah.
Cohorts.
That sounds great.
Partners.
That's great. Let me see. How do I do this here? Do I want to be sharing my screen? Do I want to be? Just a second here. Whoa. There we go. Okay. I'm used to the video production side here. Oh my gosh, we've got people here showing up on the Facebook side. That's great. And if anybody out there is wants to give a comment, feel free. I'll try to highlight it there. Maybe we can have a little bit of back and forth between the three of us. And for now, anyway, cheers, everybody. This is my nightly ritual. What do you have, Trisha?
Green tea.
Green, but yes, yay on the green tea. And TB. How do you like to be referred to as?
Oh, Tim is fine. I put TB because it just sounds better than Tim, I guess. I don't know.
That's right. That's right. So what do you have to drink?
Just water.
Just water. Well, my red cup too here.
Just a water. Normally it'd be beer, but I decided to pass on that tonight.
That's fine. That's not a big deal. All right. So let's see, where were we going to go here? Tim and I had sort of discussed possible topics of conversation, and I think largely. And why am I still showing my screen here? Let me see if I can stop this. There we go. Go. We're all a little bigger now, which So anyway, maybe I'll start. Is that probably a good?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, so where should I start? Went to art school in Kansas City at the Kansas City Art Institute in the early 1990s. It's a very small private school, and went there a couple of years until I dropped out because I didn't see a future. Although I did want to continue being an artist, and had gotten a part-time job nearby at a mutual fund company and loved it so much that continued working, and that's kind of fell into the world of computers, and that's where I've been. And over the years, I've done like little shows. I've done I've gotten into a couple of galleries, and then 2020 happened, and everything went where. And I was about ready to give everything up when I found art storefronts. I guess it was either my YouTube feed or somewhere. And I'll just stop there. And who wants to go next?
Ladies first, Trisha. You go right ahead.
Okay. I did not go to art school. I just started doing abstract painting and faux painting on my walls, and I kind of ran out of house space. And so I said, well, gee whiz, why don't I try doing this on canvases? And that's basically what I did. My background is also in computers. I've been in IT in some form or other for almost 40 years. And right now I'm in cybersecurity on that side of the world. But I've done a few live shows, not many. Like the fairs and things. I've done a few of those local ones, not many. My art's been in a couple little shows here and there, nothing big. But I liked what art storefronts had to offer, especially on the marketing side, because gee whiz, if that's all you're getting for your money, that's a lot, because these people know what they're doing. This is all they do, and they've been doing all the, the research and everything. So I'm trying to trust them. So that's where I'm at.
Great. Tim?
Well, I was unsanctimoniously laid off about 3 years ago, and I know that's always a painful moment. And I got over it the next day for the most part. So I decided really, and I've been interested in design my whole life. Whether it's architecture, furniture, especially love mid-century modern furniture. I love Art Deco, but mid-century modern furniture was probably the thing that drove me to get into design, because really I just started probably 2-3 years ago, and I do everything digitally too. I'm not I don't have the talent that the rest of y'all have, but what I try to do is but what I try to do is recreate my versions of whether it be minimalism or some sort of like geometric abstract but basically I just like doing bold colors that really pop, and when you walk into a room, I want somebody to look at it and then do a double take and say, hey, that's interesting. That's all. I don't take myself too seriously, but this is a heck of a lot of fun though too. It really is. And I got into ASF. I think I saw one of Patrick's advertisements on YouTube or something like that. And I'd seen it multiple times, and so I got to the point where I got an email one time and followed up, and then had the intro to the whole program and the platform with one of the guys, and I was sold right away, because the whole platform makes it worthwhile in itself. It really does, because one of the things that I've been seeing out there as I research and look around is that the first and number one thing you need to be successful if you're a selling artist online is you got to have a best website as possible. I mean, that's just a given these days here. So here I find myself, and I just love to create things, and it's good to have a community around you, so you don't feel like you're out in the end of a tree all by yourself, like I have felt in the past. So
that's how I felt in the last 30 years. So,
yeah. And I did sell computers.
I was going to say, that's why I reached out to Mark early on, because he just seemed, we were in the Discord, and he and I seemed to be pretty active in, like answering people and things like that. Maybe it's our tech support mentality that we just know, to try to do that. But and I just reached out to him because it seemed like we had some things in common, as far as where we were coming from and how we viewed the marketing, things like that. One of the things that very much impressed me about the company also is every single day they have webinars. Every day. I mean, what other company, does that? And these poor people, I know they got, Patrick and all them got to be sick and tired of hearing from these people like, I don't know how to make a story. I'm sure their heads explode at some point, but every day they're there and they're patient and they're helping people. And again, if that's, I think you get a ton for your money. Sure, you can get a website done anywhere. I used to be a web designer, so, but it's not just the website you're paying for. You're paying for all that other stuff. And if you need so much hand-holding, they're there.
Exactly. I mean, I've had Squarespace, I've had WordPress, I've had I was on Microsoft front page back in the 1990s.
You're showing your age, Mark.
Oh yeah. And so all that sort of, I've had art and music and all that sort of stuff. And so when I got involved with ASF, and of course I'm also a recording artist, and that's I've been one for 20 years. I've got tons of stuff. Over here is where some of the work for that goes on. But I've been able to, it's been a 20-year journey as far as the music is concerned. But some of the things that I have learned here in the past few years with regard to promoting my recordings on streaming services and other app licenses and things like that. All of that carries over. Once I saw art storefronts, I was just like, wait a second, this kind of has a parallel to that. And so you have to do things. You have to do things constantly. You have to um, promote your catalog. You constantly be, and of course, ASF. You got to send out an email every week and do an Instagram and everything like that. And so for a lot of people, including people like me, who rarely put out emails, and they did it the newsletter style and everything like that, to make that leap from 2 times a year to 52 times a year, it's a little overwhelming. And I can see, I have empathy for the people that are feel like they're swimming with concrete shoes on. You know what I mean?
Drinking water through a fire hose.
Absolutely, that's it. Yeah, drinking water through a fire hose.
And we're somewhat. I'm not probably as tech savvy as you guys are on the back end of things, but I've used so many different, worked in so many different platforms of print on demand stuff, which I'm sure that I see that you're doing some of that, Trisha. Well, your shoes and stuff. We'll have to talk about it at some point. But yeah, I mean, I do have sympathy for some of the people that are getting in and then having to ramp up, because it's frustrating as all get out, man. It really is. But and I've been through it. We've all been through the frustration level when you're trying to get on a new platform or learn a new way of doing things. But I think the main thing is just patience. Your art's going to be there forever. So just focus on learning things, and don't beat yourself up if you don't catch on right quick, because it takes time, just like anything else. But the good thing is there's a system in place. That's the best part.
Yeah, and the tech support's fantastic, and the marketing is fantastic. And I always tell everybody, if you've not heard the art marketing podcasts, and I always provide a link to their repository of that. Just go listen to the last year, right? That's just, and then you can work your way backwards. But I listened to all of them because I was doing a lot of driving here in the last couple of years, and past year and a half or so. And so I've heard all of them, and it's just it was a huge motivator for me, just listening to that. So uncomfortable pause. Has anybody else heard the podcasts?
I've listened to so many. I don't know. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Is it something off of the platform, the ASF platform?
Well, some of them are as videos, but you can also download them as podcasts onto like a smartphone or a device or something like that. And it's mostly Patrick. I think Taylor might be in a couple of them, and then Nick Friend, the CEO, he's in a bunch of them too as well. And it's just truth bombs left and right.
Yeah. And the biggest things don't happen overnight. They don't happen overnight with anything. But if you stick to a plan, be consistent, be optimistic too. You have to have the right mindset, just because things aren't falling into place. Because, and I've seen a couple of people get frustrated. Then you go look at their work and it's fantastic. It's just a matter of time, and a matter of, being as clever as you can and just being consistent. And the other thing that is a little frustrating to me too is that, figuring out how the heck Instagram works. How does that work? What is because I post on there, and I'm gradually getting, more followers, but it's a grind, it takes time.
It is a grind. Go ahead,
yes,
Trish.
I'm actually, I use the posting program called Buffer that lets you load up posts and schedule them. And so I post on Instagram, 2 Facebook pages, 2 LinkedIn pages, and Twitter.
So you're automated. You're automated.
I pretty much automated it. It'll take me like a day, or I do like on Saturday or Sunday or something, and I can get a month of them ready.
Okay. And a month. Wow.
Yeah, because I post at least once a day on all of them, and usually twice. One a picture and maybe a video. But I'll get a month or two, ahead. And then, which is not having anything to do with the playbooks. Now, the playbooks is something else. I just want to have my, if I fall off the face of the earth, these are still going to post, no matter what. And that way they're there because of the consistency thing. That's why they want you to be consistent on them. And, but then I'll add in the ones that are, the special sale ones they tell us to do and all of those. But I always just want to have a good bank of ones that, that I've done. And one of the things, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
No. I was just going to call that like evergreen content. So you have this content that is just constantly cycling in there. You're constantly showing off your work on a daily basis.
Yeah, because I've got over 200 paintings right now, like 250. So I could, in theory, in a year, you'd only see one, maybe once or twice, So I'm trying to do some things like that. One of the things that I know when we started when Patrick and I really started talking about the reels, how important videos were and the reels were. And I don't know if it's just a really lazy way to do it or what, but just like you guys, I work a 50-hour week. I'm not just sitting around, taking Instagram pictures of my food and stuff. I mean, I'm working. So I had to be as consistent or as efficient as possible. So what I would do is when I had the time and the makeup looked good, I would go and set up my camera, set up my ring lights and everything and shoot. I don't know, 50 videos all in a row. And what I got this one thing where I have them all stored in a big storage.
I've seen you turn around. You're always in the same dress, right?
Yes, I'm in this. Yes, because it's all the same day. But remember, like Patrick and I said, people aren't sitting there watching it every day, and they're not going to catch. She's wearing the same outfit she wore last week. I don't hope not. But anyway,
some people are like that.
Mark noticed it though. Mark noticed.
No, but I kind of wear
this. Crafty.
I kind of wear the same sort of thing every single day. So I mean,
Yeah. So what I did is, in that case, I was doing something because they said, don't just, show the JPEGs or anything, do something else. So I would I'd take one of my paintings and I would just show it to the thing and, move it around a little bit and pull it back out. And I could shot about 40 or 50 of them in a row, just one time. And then you download them all at once, and then I edited them, and I did all my stuff in all one day. But now I've got 40 or 50 videos that, it took me a weekend to do that. But then that's it,
Did you turn them all into reels? Is that what you did? Okay.
Yeah, they were just all, because they're all reels, and all I do, because I did them on the phone, and then I downloaded them, and I do like to edit them because I hate these people where they start, you can see them stop and start it. It's like, can't you just cut that off? But I get, I'm a perfectionist. So then I actually do edit them in a video editing program and put my little bumper on the end, that's got the website name. But then they're all ready. And so then again in Buffer, I sit there and just schedule this one for Monday, this one for Tuesday, this one for Wednesday. And again, I have them all ready.
You plug in all your hashtags and stuff like that. Okay.
All the hashtag, because you can do all that. And you do the hashtags, the with Instagram, you can do the location, and you can add a first comment if you want. I don't know why they add that, but you can.
And so, what's that program called again?
Buffer. Buffer. There is a free version, but I don't think it lets you do as many. You can do like eight things at once.
Okay.
And like I said, I've been using Buffer for years. It's relatively inexpensive. I think you pay for it by the year or something.
Okay.
But it's not bad. Maybe $100, $200, like a year. So
right.
I figure it's fine. And you can put up to 8 different platforms. The only one I'm having issues with is TikTok, because they added TikTok, and yes, I'm on TikTok. They added TikTok, but for some reason, the API doesn't work some of the times, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So what I'll end up doing is when I'm doing my scheduling, I'll just do everything else in Buffer, and then I'll schedule. You can always schedule 8 days ahead in TikTok, but at least you can schedule 8 days ahead. So I'll just do them. So you got to do it. I got to do TikTok a little more frequently, but I still use the same videos.
Hey, let me throw this out there real quick, just because this might be some useful information to somebody. What's a good video editor that you use that's simple? You can ramp up pretty quick. You probably know too, right, Mark? What's y'all's opinion on that?
Oh, video editors?
Yeah.
I use the absolute cheapest thing imaginable. Film Forth, and it's actually a piece of garbage. Windows program. I think I paid $11 or $12 for it. It does what I needed to do, but half the time it freaks out. And let me just put that one here. It's called Film Forth.
What about you, Trisha? Which do you use?
I use Corel Video Studio, and I use also Corel Paint Shop Pro for my regular pictures.
And I think that folks, if people are interested in having some of those digital tools right there, that Corel that's part of the Adobe family, isn't it? Or am I mixing that up?
They're kind of a competitor.
Okay.
But it's the same level. Corel is the same level as Adobe, yeah.
But the thing is that it's subscription based and it's very economical. You pay by the month for these platforms now, so then you can gain access and
well, mine are actually, well, maybe those are, maybe Adobe is, but at mine
Adobe, yeah.
Yeah, Corel you just buy right now. Of course, they're having a wonderful sale. Each one is, the Video Studio is really great because you can sit there and edit. You can have the video, however many lines of video you need. It's like a mixing board. However many videos you need, titles and headers, audio, and transitions in the whole bit. It's not bad, and I don't know. It's probably maybe $100.
Is that a subscription service?
No, it's you just buy it and you own it.
Just buy it. Okay, all right. It doesn't crash very much. Does it crash?
It's actually not. It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
It really is. Seems to render really well.
Yeah.
I'm working on SSD drives, which doesn't hurt.
Yes.
But and the things I'm making, are short. But I've also done longer videos, and because I've got a YouTube channel. I've got a couple YouTube channels actually, but I've got my regular art channel, and it actually I'm very pleased with it. Every year, of course, they have the updates, and you don't need to do that if you don't need to. If you're happy with it, it's perfectly fine. But they always have like dirt cheap to upgrade to the next level. So, but Paint Shop Pro is what I use to do my photo editing. And again, that is the poor man's version of Photoshop. Same idea,
I do I have the free version of, it's called paint.net, but it's if you go out to getpaint.com, that's where you have to go get it. So that's like the freebieware version of that is what I use to do a lot of my stuff. So, but I have used Paint Shop Pro in the past.
Now that was one that was I've used them since I started doing websites back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You had to explain what a website was to somebody. I taught myself HTML, and then I had to explain, and I'm trying to explain to these people why they might need a website. And I ended up doing 5 of the top 10 radio stations in Nashville because I was doing the one I was on, and then their sister station. And then the competitor across the street is like, who's doing y'all's site? So even though it was a competitor, radio is so incestuous, in each town.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows
so much, and there's been so much consolidation in that industry
it's
too.
changed so much. It's not like the old school radio.
When
it was fun. Now it's all pre-programmed stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was in it for just part-time, but I was in it when it was fun. When you learn, I learned how to, program. I learned the clock, and I just had a ball doing remotes and the whole bit. It was wonderful. 1990 and 91 was probably the best years of my life. But no, but I was doing Paint Shop Pro when it was just a guy who wrote Paint Shop Pro.
Right.
And over the years, it got bought and it got bought and it got bought. But
you've stuck with them.
Yep.
What about you, Tim? What do you use?
I don't work with any film. I don't. I've never edited film. That's why basically why I was asking you. So I would like some good freeware to use, and editing, I'll use Canva sometimes. But
Graphics programs? Do you use any?
No.
Wait, how do you create your artworks then if they're digital?
Well, those are the tricks of the trade, pal. I don't know if I.
You don't have to say. I mean, but you use digital tools too.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
But there's so many different ways to add texture and do things, because I'm trying to recreate, what I consider mid-century modern pieces, and just something that would look good hanging in your house. Really, that's what it boils down to. Like I said, I don't take myself too seriously, and I don't think art should be taken seriously. That's why my slogan is "Art's for everyone." If you look at something and you enjoy it and it gives pleasure to your eye, well, then it's great. It did its purpose. That's what I look at, because there's and it's so objective that there's so many different styles. And Mark, you've got your unique style. Trisha, you do too. And who's to say what's good and what's not good? It's whatever you like. Just like find a good bottle of wine.
Well, shall we look at some sites real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. What you got queued up there, Mark?
Well, queued up. Oh my gosh. Let's see what I can do here. Let's throw mine out there real quick, just because I've got the other two sitting over here. But my mess of a website out here. I do kind of need to clean things up, make things a little bit more consistent, I do believe. But I'm not really here to give a critique. But Mark Rushton Gallery is the website, and a lot of you know that most people who know me to any degree know that I work on with acrylic ink or acrylic paint on a substrate called spun bonded olefin, which is essentially Tyvek. It's a synthetic fiber.
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. I've been
brilliant idea.
I've been working on this ever since I was a poor art student in 1992. So I've been working on the stuff for like 30 years, and it's just been a lifelong thing where I go and interact with the substrate and interact with the different inks and acrylic paints that I apply. And most of the time I have this abstract landscape motif, which I can't seem to, I've been trying to break out of. And with, ASF cracking the whip about pivot points, I'm trying to go into other directions, like this, which is kind of a rough drawing aspect of it that's somewhat figurative. So, and there's other things I'm going to do there. But
now I have watched Mark do this too, and what's crazy about it is that his piece will metamorphosize over time, and you don't know what it's going to end up. And I think that's probably a lot of the fun, is that you try something and then you see what the effect is. You see how cool it looks. But
absolutely,
there's certainly a lot of depth in all that stuff, though. It's you can see the depth.
Here, these particular this is just what would I call it? Vine charcoal on just typical paper, and it's been had a fixative applied to it and everything. But I think I did these live, and it was just like they kind of came into what they are, and very fitting for me right now.
I see something in there. Do you see anything in that, Trisha? Because right away I had a vision of what I see in that thing there.
Oh, I see somebody surfing.
Yeah, absolutely. So
see
that's exactly what I saw. Surfing.
Surfing?
Yeah.
It's a guy on a surfboard surfing.
Absolutely. That's what I see.
Well,
you never saw it that way, Mark?
No, it's like somebody walking through the valley of darkness with just a little bit of light around them, trying to make it through, which is why I titled it, You're on Your Own, and very prophetic, because just a couple weeks later I got laid off from the job that I've been on for 21 years. So maybe it was a little premonition there, perhaps. I don't know, but
Well, it is kind of dark colored there too, so it was a dark premonition.
exactly. And then I have a whole tote bag store out there, which is just I'm doing designs and collages just for the tote bags, and these are things that I actually buy and take into stores and people comment on, and so I just like that for the functionality aspect of the art. And um and then there's some prints here too, but we don't need to go into that. We've seen that sort of stuff. And then canvas originals. I'm really kind of, these are larger paintings, 24-inch, 24. I think some of these are up to 18 by 24. I have much bigger, but I really kind of just want to work on smaller pieces in the future. Things that can be easily mailed, things that can be easily transported to in-person events and that sort of thing. So that's kind of, and I'm still throwing things into the gallery. I've got such a backlog of stuff that I need to photograph and catalog and everything. And let's bring up one of the other ones. Who's next? You guys fight over it.
Tim can be next.
Tim can be next.
Oh, so you have our sites up there. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah, and I've kind of been on this pop art kick lately because I really like history. I like nostalgia, I like pop culture, and so a lot of times I like to mix that all together. But you can click where you want.
Okay, let's go to minimalism. Let's take a tour.
So there you see, I've introduced basic shapes, colors, color combinations. That's the thing that I like. And then I always picture where I would see this hanging, and it always seems like it's just some hipster place, a cool architecture's house or something very modern, postmodern, minimalist.
Let me go into one of these here if the site will come up. There we go. So you're doing the square. Oh, do you not have the wall preview tool?
I do not.
I just have one.
Yeah, well, because I just have the basic package at first, so I was going to test the waters and then upgrade it at some point in time.
How long have you been an ASF?
Oh, just a couple months. I just started.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so I'm brand spanking new.
Well, I'm not much further behind you. How about you, Trish? How long have you been?
Actually, I'm in my second year.
Okay.
Last year I got it, but I was going through a lot of stuff with work and ended up with a burnout thing and all this, so I just didn't. I had my site up, but I wasn't doing the playbook stuff as much. I just wasn't into it. But this year I said, no, I've got to do it because I paid for it. I got to do this stuff. And these people are right, or I'm assuming they're right with everything. They've done the research. So.
Yeah, so this I try to keep just very minimal, all based on the colors, shapes. It's meant to be very simple. The top left one right there is kind of inspired by Frank Stella, who's a kind of a cool artist, if you know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
The postmodern, very very simple yet the bold color combinations. Sometimes it's called hard edge style as well.
Then you got like a little bit of texture in there too. With yeah.
Because it kind of takes the shine off it, if you will.
Gotcha.
So see, and I would put just a white frame around that with a mat, and then have a cool spot for it, where it really kind of pops and makes its presence known. I like loud stuff sometimes too. I don't think everybody likes my style, but there's because a lot of things that I do that my wife's not impressed. But then she's not into art anyway, so she's not a good critic, if you will. But I tend to be kind of out on the fringe sometimes with some of these things. But but then I was influenced by that Memphis Milano design in the early 80s, the Memphis group, Tori Satsas and Michelle DeLucci, and these guys that were making, turning furniture design upside down. It's really far out there, and it's kind of coming back now. But So, you know, and then I'll go from the other extreme into the, you know, I do those pop art pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also got some man
Let's go
cave
to-
stuff on the bottom there.
Let's check out
Yeah,
the
I
pop.
saw the
Oh,
pop.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yes.
You know, the top left one's kind of like, you know, I say I like history and nostalgia. I love baseball, especially. Of course, I have my Astros hat on, but this is Satchel Paige and Jackie Robinson in the middle right there. But then you see down below where it all feeds upward, all the pioneers from the back in the Negro Leagues leading all the way up to right in the very middle, if you can see, is in very much in the background is Hank Aaron after he hit 715, breaking Babe Ruth's record. So it's kind of that's at the pinnacle of the whole thing. And these are kind of the pioneers down below of the Negro League. So that was kind of my ode to that.
Very nice.
And I think that, you know, anybody that's a sportsman or a collector of some sort like that would, you know, or that'd be a good man cave item or just something that any baseball lover would possibly enjoy.
Have you been working Reddit to any degree yet?
Yeah, a little bit. I have, but you know, that's a different beast altogether. You have to be kind of very delicate when you move around inside of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's the look at the one, the purplish one above that. No, the light purple, the violet. Right? Yeah, that one.
The cigarette.
Yeah. Now, this one I'm mocking. I don't know if you've seen the old ads in the magazines where you know have these doctors out there hustling for the cigarette company.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know, and if you could read that at the very top right, if you can see that, Mark, because I can't see. And these are actual headlines and actual ads and things that
Not
came out.
one single case of throat infection irritation due to smoking Camels.
Not one. Can you believe that?
One.
Not a single one. They polled everybody on the whole planet, all 3, 5, 20 million of their users. So I'm basically mocking. And then you look at how you have the you know, the movie stars, and it's glamorous, and you know everybody's got to work in a smoke, and it's cool, and you know it's in a lot of ways it's propaganda, a lot of ways it's lies, but you know that's the American media. I'm kind of a cynic to boot. And then on the bottom right, you got the doctor saying, "Smoke them if you got them." I think that's an old stoner saying, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yes.
Smoke it if you got it. So yeah, that's kind of my other extreme right there. So. I don't know who would buy it, but you know, it's just kind of a quirky little piece.
Yes.
You know.
I've been in many shops where this sort of stuff would fly off the shelves.
Yeah, I think in the right place it would definitely work. And then you know, the Daisy BB gun, you know, or you know, the one-eyed bandit or whatever. Yeah, so that's just kind of a different aspect that I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
The Daisy air rifle. I don't think I ever had one of those. I don't think my parents would let me have one.
No.
Put an eye out. I've seen it happen.
And so you got down here, you have photography.
Yeah.
And American Muscle. Let's go to the photography real quick.
Yeah, look at that first picture. I got real lucky. It was in Chicago one time. And I'm sure you've been up to the top of this. I don't know, maybe both of you up to the top of the Sears Tower or the John Hancock Tower.
I have not.
If you scroll down to the bottom there, Mark, then you'll see it's probably the last one there, that one.
I have been in the Willits Tower, but it was
I know, but the
Sears Tower.
The Chicago people say it's still the Sears Tower.
Always be the Sears Tower to me.
Yeah, it's the Sears Tower.
But see there, I'm looking at the John Hancock Tower in the distance, and that cloud just happened to be kind of creeping by a little bit, and I thought, wow, that's kind of odd. So I took a shot, unless that's exhaust from the internal systems and that's the AC exhaust or the heater exhaust or whatever. But I thought that was kind of cool.
That's pretty wild.
So, you know, I got a little bit of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to your muscle cars here too, because
and these are my ode to the America. I love 60s muscle cars.
Oh yeah,
big block Detroit powerhouses.
The Javelin, AMX,
yeah.
AMS, AMX,
AMX. You remember AMX, AMC,
yeah. AMC, AMX. Yes,
they had that beautiful Gremlin and and the Pacer. Remember that one?
Pacer, the Ambassador, the Matador.
Right.
We used to call the Ambassador the Embarrasser. Who would drive a car like that?
I know.
But these were always way cool. These were always way cool.
Yeah. But you know, we're showing our age here too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
So
that's enough of me. Let's go to Trisha.
Let's go over to
Trish
now. Let me drag her screen over. real quick, and I it, let's see here. How do these browsers work anyway? There we go.
Oh, look at that. Very
There we
nice.
go. So you just tell me where to go, Trish.
All right. I've my things right now. I've got 4 different categories. One is just what I'm calling just my regular abstracts. The color falls is the one in the middle where it's just the dripping paint. People love those. Don't ask me why, but they do.
Yeah, they're real popular now.
The third one is a combination, but you were talking about man cave stuff. The third category right there, Team Spirit Reimagined. Basically, if you want to click on that one, it's abstract paintings using the official colors of your team.
That's pretty cool.
I've done the entire SEC because I'm in Tennessee. And I've also done the Preds, the Nashville Predators for hockey and the Tennessee Titans. And that is actually every single SEC team. All their colors, just a collage of all their colors.
Wow.
So
yeah, very cool.
I really love that piece. That's great.
Well, thank you. I did that one live at one of those shows because if you ever work one of these that's not very busy, you don't want to just stand there and smile for 4 hours, sometime, and you don't want to look like you're just like, please come in my booth. So I set up. I said, well, I'm going to be productive while I'm here, and I would paint while I'm there, So I did that one while I was at a show. But if you go, like I said, I got all the SEC.
LSU.
I think I see Florida right there, and there's Tennessee on the bottom right, and is that right?
Yeah. I've got two versions of each state, each one. My reason of doing this was kind of almost the opposite of the man cave. It was the wife of the man cave guy who's sick and tired of logos and things. So she might be, want to support the team just as much and all, but doesn't want to just put, logos and everything all over, but would prefer to do, let me see if I've got one here. Do I have something here? Do I have one?
You also escaped the licensing issues.
And I skipped the licensing issues.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because it's just, it's just paint.
Let's see if I can bring you up here just a second.
Well, that's okay. I mean, but
is that the metal print there?
There we go. I'm learning.
That's a metal print. Yep, that's
very nice.
Vanderbilt.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
And these things, okay, you may not make a painting of them, but these are the things that the merchandise. This is what I'm thinking. The merchandise, like you're talking about the shoes and the purses and the tote bags and the other things that are just something that you're showing you're supporting the team, but you're not having a logo everywhere.
That's a good idea.
So things
that
like
must be Georgia right there, huh?
That is Alabama.
Alabama.
You know how many versions of red I own? Because
there's lots of them.
I know. I'm just being funny. But every team has a red is a different red, So I have them all.
Yeah, I've actually gone and done some things, utilizing the various team colors, but you can get the color code online, and it's all free, or you just use a color picker, and you can pick out the color, get the exact code for it. So
yes, and some of the some of the stores have them programmed in their computers, and you can get them. Plus, there's a website that you can get them all in. And one of the things too is even if you don't, my idea also was somebody just may like those colors. They don't care about what team. They don't care. They just like, oh, I like purple and yellow. So, or whatever.
Absolutely.
It may be their team's colors,
Yeah. And close enough. Yes.
Exactly.
So that's what the Team Spirit Reimagined is, because my thing is that I want somebody like the NFL or the NHL or somebody to decide, hey, we want you to want this for every one of our teams. And then we will, license it from you and make merchandise and everything. And then I can retire.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what the Team Spirit Reimagined is. And yeah, okay, yeah, because that's LSU there. And then if you go to just the abstracts on the first, yeah.
Textured abstracts.
Yeah. It's I like doing mine very, very textured and very shiny. I know you said, Tim, that you were doing yours where you turned the shine off. You wanted it to be what you were working on.
Yeah, just to diffuse it a little bit, I guess you say.
Yeah. See, because I put a gloss finish at the end of mine.
I see.
And because I like them to be real shiny, especially because they're textury. And if you could see them in person, you can see the texture. But one of the things that I like is how well our vendors capture these things and really make, at least, I can still see the texture, on a flat, on a flat print.
Yeah, it feels like I could.
Something
so we're not looking at an original right now.
Well, it's a picture of an original.
Okay, but it's a good picture of an original. So if it prints out like that, then they've accomplished what you wanted to.
Like I said, I can show you some. I got my whole Rubbermaid thing full over here, but it's just something that's what I decided might make me look a little different. Is I did try a couple other different things, but this is just what I like. It's just what I like.
Yeah, and there's that black one. What's that one in the middle left right there? That's pretty funky right there.
Okay, thank you. That's one of a series of 3: Escher Mama Bear, Escher Papa Bear, and Escher Baby Bear, and that's Baby Bear.
That's pretty cool, man. It's psychedelic.
Big, and all I did was black and white.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do what I will do a theme or something. Like every 4th of July, I have to paint a painting using only red, white, and blue. Not necessarily has to be patriotic or nothing. It's just I paint red, white, and blue, and I've done that the last several years. Just something to do.
Is that with oils or?
No, everything is abstract. Excuse me, acrylic.
Acrylic.
Okay.
Acrylic.
I'm all acrylic
Very
too,
cool.
but just because I can't stand the smell of oils.
I'm acrylic because my thing, don't tell anybody, is I use house paint.
Okay. I've used that before.
It'll last.
It does last, yes.
And it's cheap. So.
And the great thing is you can go into the hardware store and they have the mist tints. And
oh yes, I've got a lot of the oops paint.
Oh yeah. I've done that too.
Idea.
I did that with my larger ones.
Yes, I've got, and Home Depot needs to sponsor me because everything, all my paints, my paintbrushes, when I build my own larger canvases, I build some that are like 40 by 40. And so I build my canvases from drop cloths and 1x2s. So I've got about 4 or 5 that are really big, and I need to make some more of those.
So do you only sell prints or do you sell originals?
I haven't put the originals on there, but I will. I just haven't done that yet because
you're busy.
Well, no, because I would assume that, I need to take more of, how, okay, Mark, your pictures, your originals, you see that it's in a frame. You see that it's a thing.
Okay.
I assume that I would have to go reshoot everything separately and here's the picture, and I just haven't had the chance to do that.
Yes.
Now I've heard them say that you can just use your same pictures here and just say, hey, but the original is available for, X amount of dollars.
That's what I would do for sure. Yeah. Make that a note there someplace where you can always get the original if somebody really likes something there. So Yeah, I think for sure, because I think people would be asking about the original because they're going to see these right here and say, "Is that the original right there?" It's a picture of the original, which looks the same, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it is funny.
Without the texture of the feeling of the original, but
right, right.
But you can see how the original is going to look. You know, because you can almost feel it.
Well, and like that, I was going to say on I made a limited edition after, and I know that Mark will have known this because Patrick has talked about this guy a lot. The guy who does the rock star people and made the original, the limited edition by putting a bunch of them together. That was my idea with this one, is that I have two paintings that I painted at the same time, you know, sunset and moonrise, and they look like they should be together. So I stuck them together, you know, in Paint Shop Pro and made one painting, and that's my limited edition.
Okay.
Very cool.
Because, you know, it doesn't even exist in real life. It's only here. So I just thought I'd try it.
Just expanding it out. That's great.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it.
Now, Tim, I know, Mark, that you have, you know, I've seen you show off your tote bags and your everything on you know, on your videos. Tim, do you have the same thing? Do you have?
Well, no, I took everything off of there as far as
Go
the.
ahead and click on her.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw her. I was going to click on her, but go ahead with your point.
Yeah, go ahead with your.
Oh, I was going to say I took those things off because I went and looked, and you know, some of the time the T-shirt wasn't printed right. It just I'm going to go back and kind of redo that myself. But I also have other sources where I could do that too. So you know, I just haven't really assessed if I can buy them cheaper or source them locally versus going through them. And it looks like there's been some broken mugs coming across lately. I've seen people complaining about that. I don't know if you all have that issue, but
yeah.
Anyway, those are cool right there. So
I don't know why that page is in black. If you refresh it, it should be okay. But because I'm
page
looking at
in
it,
black.
it's
the background,
page is a black background, and it's not really supposed to be.
Oh, just a second.
Yeah, is that just? I don't. Okay.
Oh wait.
I don't know.
It's maybe it's that. It's the cookies.
I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
It's white on the regular page. Yes, these are. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
How did you make these?
These are, again, I have a manufacturer that I work with. It's print on demand, just like you were talking about. But they do really cool things like shoes and scarves and stuff. And the scarves are wonderful. The scarves are great. I can show you the scarf too.
Yeah, you got one?
I've got all kinds of things.
I'll make it front and center here.
Oh no. All right, let's see. Let me find one that would.
See, I thought these might have been originals that you had done, but so they are.
They're from my paintings.
They're printed shoes. Wow.
Yeah,
this
very
is
cool.
The LSU painting.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
But see, isn't that great? Women love these things. You know?
Is this which one is this?
That's the LSU.
Okay.
Yeah, you could like promote those through you know, whatever the student publication is on campus or something like that, maybe, you know, or LSU group fans or something, fan groups. There's different ways to target niches with all of those, really, you know, going through each of the individual schools, because that would be cool to, you know, just to accessorize yourself and, you know, with your team colors. Very easy.
And that's my point. You know, I could see somebody, you know, go into the arena wearing a pair of those really cool shoes.
Absolutely.
Yes, in the school color. Yes, absolutely. And people pay anything for that.
Yeah.
They get the right thing. Yes.
So that's why, and they look really good. Every time I wear one of those shoes, you know, they always get noticed. So.
Yeah, there's some really good print-on-demand companies out there too. If some of the folks may want to take their art, because a lot of people have art that'd be very transferable to other products as well, obviously. But there's other companies that will do a myriad of different types of products. You know, from shoes to leather goods to, you know, all sorts of different things. But that's a whole nother conversation.
I'd like to just be able to buy. Well, I could buy a dye sublimation printer and then a heat press and just
Yeah, you
sublimate.
said you could do that.
Yeah, just sublimate my own prints and fulfill my own prints from the house. You know, it just seems like it, and then I would be able to do things like stuff that is one-offs for myself, that it would be illegal copyright infringement if I tried to sell it, you know. You know, I think of that, you know, I don't know, but
Well, even with these, you know, I bought from the company that you know, I got a couple different companies. You know, I mean, I just bought, you know, the shoes for me. You know, I mean,
exactly.
I show them, but because they're more a sample. Obviously, you know, I don't think somebody's going to come in and happen to wear that size and happen to want to buy them. You know, I
Right.
just want to show what can be done so somebody could say, "Oh, that's cool." You know, we got to show this to, you know, Sarah Jessica Parker and get her to buy a pair of these shoes. You know, so you can just buy the one. You know, you don't have to buy the ton. Again, wonderful thing about print on demand.
You can
So
just buy one shoe, really?
that one shoe, the one pair. But I've got shirts. I've got I've got an umbrella. I mean, I've got all kind of things. A luggage and thing that you can put over your suitcase to you know, cover it up. So all kind of
Wow,
things.
great.
You know.
Well, let me go back to the larger versions of us here. Now that we've gone through the websites there, and what else do we want to talk about? Now that we've kind of shown off our websites and shown off everything.
Well, we're pushing an hour here pretty soon.
Yeah. How long do you want this to go? I mean,
YouTube may cut you off at an hour, or Facebook. One of them cuts you off at an hour.
well, StreamYard doesn't, I don't think.
I don't think StreamYard does, no, but one of
The
the live feed places.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Okay.
I haven't done more than an hour, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I think in the future this would be a good format to have, you know, other folks come on and, you know, review the art and talk about it, and, you know, just have some fun and get to know people more so from face to face. Well, figuratively.
Yes.
Exactly. I think a lot of people, you know, we have community out there, but as far as talking to each other, going through the sites, looking at the stuff, talking about our work, which is so important to do, it's hard for a lot of people to do that sort of stuff, you know. And if they are able to, I would say also as an example, now y'all are on StreamYard, right?
Yes.
But now, I don't remember exactly. If I wanted to have somebody else on who wasn't on StreamYard,
You can invite anybody.
I
You
invite
can
anybody.
invite anybody.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have it. I don't have this. I used to have an account. I still may have, but no, you can invite anybody. Yeah.
So if I wanted to on my show, then I could invite anybody on. Like if they're like, listen, I've never done video before. I'm really nervous. How do you do it? And then you can have them on and see whether or not they want to freak out or not. I mean, that might be a good thing.
Yeah, no, nobody needs. Yeah, you can just send a link to anybody as long as they got a camera or a phone, and they can just do it.
I just think that video is the way forward. It's been the way forward for a long time. Doing shows, and you know, getting to the point where not only do you show off your art, you know, on a web page, but being able to show off your art like that, you know, there's something about that. And then trying to develop a personality over time, trying to talk about different things. You know, I also refer to various. Are we backwards? It is backwards, isn't it?
No, it's not.
No.
Is it not? Okay. Oh, it's just, to me it looks backwards. Okay, and stuff like that. And then of course, I've also been thumbing through various art books lately, which is something I'd like to do. Maybe possibly with you guys too. I think Tim had said something about, you know, go through books and check out our favorite paintings and explain and talk about that. You know, that'd be kind of fun, I guess. I don't know if others are interested in that. And then possibly even additional books that would help other people out. Now, early on, I had talked with Patrick Shanahan one-on-one, and he said, you need to go get the boron letters book and read through it. And so I got the book, I've read through it, and it's a very interesting book. It's rooted in the 1980s marketing, mail order marketing and all that, but there are things that apply to today as well. So that was a good suggestion on his part. But I just like the idea of talking about the work, talking about all the peripherals that brought us here, the things that we do, the things that we look at on a regular basis. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that's important for artists? I mean, anything else that?
I think I will probably fall short on that end because I'm not a studied artist. So
I'm barely.
Oh, but you went to art school.
I went art school dropout.
Well,
proud of it.
I can't
so
draw.
Glad I didn't incur any more debt.
I actually have my elevator speech that I had to do for a business cohort I was in this year,
Mhm.
and I started off with I've got a painter in our city whose name is Phil Ponder, who does these photorealistic drawings of buildings around Nashville. And I say, my house is full of Phil Ponder paintings. And I say that, Phil Ponder certainly knows how to draw a straight line. I, on the other hand, cannot, which is why I do abstracts. Not draw a straight line.
Me too. I don't have the talent that a lot of these other folks have. There's a lot of talent that I've seen out there for sure.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There were other people out there that I've seen join ASF. Some of them are doing really well now, and I'd like to have them on as well. And just people that seem to do well out of the gate. They have a good subject matter. They have a subject matter that really resonates with people, or they have the time to, get into the Reddit thing or the Facebook group thing. And I mean, I don't think I could ever do that, but video I can do, I'm used to that sort of thing. But Reddit, I've looked at Reddit and I'm like, what? I don't know. Right.
Yeah,
All of those, the problem with those are because everyone's like, well, there's 100 million, team Facebook pages, say. But you got to sit there and pretend you like the team and pretend you know about the team and pretend all these things. And then say, oh, here, I just happened to paint this and hope some,
Right.
So it's not so advertising.
Hope you don't get banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have the time right now to do that.
Yeah. And they have these things called karma points, just so
okay, that's on Reddit. Yes.
Reddit. Yeah. And you
Mm-hmm.
get points for like making comments, on somebody. That basically it shows how active you are involved, because the main reason is so that to stop bots from getting in there. And, that's those are like demon seeds to Reddit. Well, they are to all of us, I think, in a lot of cases.
And they have a lot of admins or whatever like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
yes, yeah.
It is kind of a different one. You have to go in like a pauper and act like one for a while.
If you really okay, you were talking about your cars, that you love the muscle cars.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily go in a muscle car group
mm-hmm.
and intelligently talk with the people and have discourse with the people back and forth, and your art, so it looks like, oh, you just happen to do this too, because that's
yeah.
And, like I said, I can't go into a University of Kentucky website or Reddit and talk about the Wildcat.
I don't know. Maybe you could, though. Now that I think about it, yeah, you could.
Well, you could. But
Same way that I could.
Yes, but I'd have to know enough about them to talk about them. I just
well, you can.
Other than they're blue and white.
Yeah,
that's what I know about them.
Yeah, that's true. You want to act like you know something about football if you're in there, but maybe you did.
Well, I know about football. I just don't know about the particular teams.
I got you.
But I also have some there's a lot of Taylor Swift pages, and I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. And several of my paintings are either Taylor Swift titles or lyrics, and all, so I can intelligently talk about that. So
there you go.
I might try it with that one.
Well, I feel the same way with when I got into galleries. I'd go into a gallery and I always felt like I felt like I had the imposter syndrome, like did I really belong here? And that's one reason why when we moved here, my wife and I we try to go to all the arts and crafts events that are in the area. And because I'd like to do it in person. I think the in person is really good for selling lower priced stuff and establishing yourself in an area. But
it's hard.
It's hard, and
it's hard.
You see how the other people are, and it's a long weekend, and I'm in amongst all the people that are gluing little things together or selling the pre-printed stuff that they bought in bulk from somewhere, and it's just like, okay, well, I'll try to fit in, but I need to find out which ones are good and which ones are. Yeah. There was one artist recently that was posting, I think it was in Small Winds or whatever. And he was he did art. He did like car art, he did drawings or pictures or paintings or something like that of classic cars and stuff. And his thing was that he's like I'm the only artist here, because everything else was like, car, part salesman, add-ons, all that sort of thing. He was the only artist there, and I'm like, oh man, you're gonna kill it. You're just gonna kill it because you're the only artist there. And that's a good time when it's good to be the only artist, right? But when you're amongst 300, it can be a little difficult, I think. I don't know. Have you two ever done any sort of in-person events where you're selling and?
Oh yes.
I haven't.
Yeah, you haven't? Okay.
Not yet.
Not interested, or?
Oh no, I am. I think.
Okay.
I'm just,
how many times have you?
I'm new to this whole thing here. I don't take myself seriously, and like you say, the old complex thing. Am I an artist? Am I? I don't know. I guess if somebody likes what you do, then I guess you are.
Right.
But no, I haven't done that yet, because.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm an artist or not.
How about you, Trisha?
It's extremely hard. If you do now, you both have spouses, so I assume they would help you on that day, and they would be there.
Oh, not so sure about.
I'll drop you off.
Well, it's very hard to do it by yourself as a 58-year-old woman trying to move 70 pounds of, grid walls.
Oh, yes.
Put them up and everything. Because one of the things that I did decide to do last year, there was a small show, a monthly Friday night show during the summer in a trendy-ish part of Nashville that was dirt cheap to do it, like $25 or $30, for your 10 by 10 space. And I said, well, that's perfect for me to try out, because it's not where you're putting $1,000, for a weekend, like you were saying, or something. This is just a Friday night from 5 to 9, in the summer. And so you get there 4 hours ahead, it takes me 3 hours to set up, because I'm doing it by myself. Tent, the whole bit, 10 by 10 tent, 10 by 10 tent.
Are you outdoors?
That was outdoors, yes.
Okay.
In the blazing heat of Nashville, Tennessee in the summer. And then you have to go, so you wear, shorts and a t-shirt, get this thing all set up, go into your car and change clothes, into something that's not sweaty and everything to come back when it starts, and smile at people for 4 hours. who come in and nobody's buying.
Yeah, they walk on by.
And they come in, oh, I love how you do this thing, you know, but no one buys anything. But to be fair, last year was 2021. It was the first summer after the pandemic where people were now allowed to start coming out and doing things. So I think they were just happy to be out of the house, you know, to have something to do, because nobody was really buying much. You know, you could see people weren't holding bags or nothing.
Tire kicking.
But it was something to do. I learned every month I'd set up a little different, because you learn something each time. You know, what's better. Right now I'm at a point where I actually have enough grid walls to make a full thing with that you can hang, you know, on those metal walls. I keep buying them little by little, and because it's a really easy way to make your tent look real professional. And that's the other thing. I wanted to be very, very, very professional looking, because I didn't want, you know, I do have imposter syndrome on some things as well. But I wanted to look really good. So I've got vinyl signs that have, you know, my logo and paintings and everything. And I've got pens with my logo on it. And I've got, you know, of course, my cards and everything.
You look like you've been doing it for a while.
I try to look like you know, because I mean, you got to put money into that look. You don't want to just have a card table, you know, and some stuff. I wanted to look, because I was selling originals. And so I wanted it to look like it was an expensive thing, because that was expensive stuff.
Right.
But I also had things like greeting cards. I think greeting cards are an excellent thing to sell at a show, because it's basically a 5x7 print. And you tell people that, hey, for $10 you're getting a 5x7 print, or 20, whatever you're going to sell them for.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, so the greeting cards are good. This last one, and then I did a nice one a couple months ago that was an invitation only one. So, and I got in. And so this time I did much more of the scarves and the tote bags and throw pillows. And I did have prints as well. And so, you know, you do all this work or whatever, and you sell 2 scarves.
Yeah.
You know, which
it's
is
demoralizing.
I mean, I've done them where I've sold absolutely nothing. And then you have to tear everything down at 10 o'clock at night in the dark.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
are these outdoor events?
Yeah.
You know, I've looked at enough outdoor events. I'm just like, I don't think I'm ever going to do that. Because I was at one here in the fall, and everybody had their tents, and there was a huge gust of wind at the time, and all the shopkeepers, even though they were like weighted down, they're just like this, ready to blow away. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Well, that's one good thing about those heavy grid walls.
Yeah.
The tent's hooked to it, nothing's going anywhere.
Oh, really? Okay.
But no, that's exactly right.
But then you got to move it from.
There was a storm last summer that came in. It wasn't supposed to rain that day, but it did. And you know, you see a poor tent in the trash pile because it didn't make it through the rainstorm.
Jeez.
So, you know, and just assume that it will, you know, when you buy easels and you buy, you know, your table and however you want to set up, know that you're going to spend at least $500 just to get a setup. Right. Including the tent and, you know, all the little things that you would need for the tent that you don't think about. Lighting for the inside when it gets dark. If you're doing a nighttime show, you need to do lighting. Thank goodness for LEDs and sonar now, or solar. You know,
but
you know.
So do you plan to keep doing? Do you plan to keep doing in-person shows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it. It's so hard to do.
Yeah.
I know Patrick and them just keep talking about, just keep going. I was like, yes, if you're retired and you have nothing else to do.
You know what I'm interested in is
If you
like,
have friends, I'm the only one out there
if
by myself.
yes, if
everybody
I'm
else is
paired
gone.
with somebody else, if like, so, like I'll take half, you take the other half, and then that way we can kind of, hit the bathroom and have a bite to eat and stuff like that. I think I might do that, right? That might be what I might be interested in, but solo outdoors, no,
Everybody has their spouse or their,
a
their
buddy
kid
or whatever.
or somebody,
Yeah.
out there. So that does make it harder. And I'm not trying to say, poor me. That's not it. I'm just saying it's hard if you want to set if you're setting up a really professional thing by yourself.
Yeah, those shows can be a crapshoot sometimes, and it's so demoralizing when you don't when you don't sell anything.
Though I have learned how much stuff you can put in a Honda CRV. 6-foot grid walls you can put in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Drop your seats and everything all the way up to the top.
Yes.
See, that's why.
Paintings,
That's why I'm doing small stuff these days, because it's just like small and paper, and it's just like that's my focus for 2023. It's just modular and lightweight, because I'm trying to think about the future. I'm trying to think about doing in-person events, and it's just like I've got over there I have gigantic canvases and what else, the cradled wood panels that weigh too much and everything, and it's just like there's no way I'm hauling all that stuff around anymore. I did that when I was in the gallery, and I'm just like, I don't think I want to do that anymore. I've been through that.
I'll send you a picture of this of my tent that I just did, because it was a good looking tent. I mean, even the people said that was a good looking tent. So I'll send you.
Okay.
I'll send you a picture.
Great.
So,
well, we're at an
hard.
hour and 15 minutes now. What do you guys think? Have we?
Well, I think that it's time for me to make a bathroom break and then get a little snack. Just to be honest with you, but
Yeah,
this is kind of a fun little format. We can do this in the future with other people, and
yeah, absolutely. And then
hopefully-
maybe we can talk about other aspects of if we want to get together again, talk about other aspects of ASF. Take a look at other artists. If we can maybe go and find somebody, and everybody could earmark somebody and just say, yeah, this is what I like. This is kind of interesting, or this, I like how their site's set up and stuff. That might be kind of cool.
I think it would be.
I'd like to be, try to be positive and then that way I can go back to my site and go, God, this is all wrong. I need to spend a couple of days trying to figure this out. So I don't know.
Well, and before we leave, I have to introduce you to.
Oh my gosh, somebody's had a haircut.
Yeah, somebody.
Crested.
Oh, okay, there you go. I was thinking it was a poodle with a haircut at first.
Oh, it's not. It's not one with a haircut.
No, Chinese crested.
He's a Chinese
Chinese crested.
He's a Chinese crested poodle mix. That's why he's
okay.
But this is Trevor, and he is 12 weeks old tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, he's still a puppy.
I just got him 6 days ago. So
I've got my daughter who's into every unusual dog in the world, even though we don't have a dog. She's gonna have to see this. I'm gonna ask her if she's ever heard of that. I'm sure she has, but she's like an encyclopedia about odd things.
I've got a couple pictures of him already on my Instagram.
And I'm not calling your dog odd. It's an unusual dog, right?
No, I know. I raised 4 Chinese cresteds over 20 years, and the last one passed a year and a half ago.
Right.
And so now I'm starting.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. What's the dog's name again?
Trevor. His name is Trevor Pena.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, thank you, Mark.
All right,
Trisha. Good to see you.
I can't believe the technology worked. It's amazing,
It did.
It's great. But thanks everybody for coming on here, and hopefully we'll get together in the future.
Yes.
Right. So have a good, happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
and
Thanksgiving.
see you down the road. Bye, everybody.
Bye.